It's Memorial Day weekend, and we're kicking off the summer right with AEW REVEALS Reveals. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we kick off summer with AEW REVEALS Reveals today. The summer starting right with some brand new wrestling figure announcements and a peek under the tent of what we can expect from the AEW REVEALS team the rest of 2021. Nothing's more exciting than wrestling figure reveals for me. Maybe G.I. Joe reveals, but wrestling figure reveals are always cool, and it's really interesting to see where this Jazzwares line's going, as we're finally finding out what the Unmatched collection is going to look like, not to mention continuing Unrivaled and a few other surprises along the way. So without any further ado, let's start going through them, let's discuss them, let's talk about them, and let's see where it goes from there. So we started off hot. They started off with the doors opening. They had an AEW Fan Fest as part of the big pay-per-view weekend. Really the return of fans, it should be called, for Fan Fest. As we all know, the last year there's been no fans in attendance for the most part at any of these events. Now we're kicking it off with a Fan Fest exclusive reveals from AEW. And when the gates opened, via the Ringside Collectibles Twitter feed is who I was getting this info from. So make sure you guys are following ringsidecollectibles.com. And also, when you use the code KYLE, you'll save 10%. But we saw when the doors opened, it looks like they had a few things on display. And they had Unrivaled Series 6 out on display. Now, we were announced these a few weeks ago. We knew who it was going to be in, but this is the first time we've seen real prototypes live in the flesh, I guess you would say. So we got to see Penta and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, of course, both in their black and yellow garbs. Mixed bag with some people out there, but you guys know me. Mass. Yeah, it doesn't. That's all I need. Mask and face paint. Sign me up all day long. So you know I'm getting these guys. I'm getting all these. It's just the way, the life of a completist. But Penta and Phoenix, we saw those live in person, and it was what we expected. We've had them before, basically almost repaints at this point. But then we saw Shida, and she looks fantastic. You guys know I love Rio. She's one of my favorites of all time. I watch her, and I see her every single day out in stores. Rio's a favorite, but this Shida's blowing away the quality on Rio. I don't know if Shida will hit the Rio levels on the pegs. I really doubt that, but Shida looks fabulous. That looks like a fabulous female figure. We also saw MJF, which we knew was coming. We also saw Chris Jericho, and we saw Jake Hager out there as well. And no real surprises. We already knew what we were getting with Unrivaled Series 6, and they're up for pre-order on Ringside Collectibles right now. Like I said, use discount code Kyle, save 10%. But then we transitioned later on where they made some more announcements and stuff. And we saw Unrivaled Series 7 out there. Very interesting to see Unrivaled Series 7. I got my handy iPad here to keep me on track to know what I'm talking about, I guess. But we saw the return in Unrivaled Series 7. We're going to see the return, no strangers to the Unrivaled line, the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson. I know a lot of people probably groaned when they saw this, that more Young Bucks. These are just straight up figures. They haven't put jackets with them or accessories with them, so we're not sure how they'll be flushed out exactly. But the Young Bucks returning in Unrivaled Series 7 to some people's dismay. I mean, I got to be honest, I'm not super excited about that either. I feel like we've had enough Young Bucks, at least for a while. But the yin and yangs of the tag teams, we're getting Dax and Cash. We're getting FTR, the Revival back in the WWE days. Old friends of me and my daughter. We spent a night with them one time many years ago when they were the Revival. But it's cool to get the FTR finally in the set. Once again, not sure what accessories we'll have with these. I don't know about the head scans on both these two. They both look a little off to me. But, you know, I always say, hey, these prototypes, these computer digital images, they got a long ways to go before they hit the table here and I give them the official seal of approval or disapproval. So, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. This is a digital mock-up. All these things, digital mock-ups, haven't seen them in hand, so you got to don't pass judgment too soon. You got to take your time, figure it out, and until you see it in hand, that's when you can make an actual judgment. That's what I always say. So we got FTR coming. We also saw Nyla Rose, a big female figure. One of the biggest, well actually this will be the biggest female figure in the AEW line. Probably, I'm guessing, the size of Nia Jax in the Mattel line. Very probably similar sized characters. Very evil, mad, angry face. She almost looks like she's something out of the Masters of the Universe. It looks like she's going to kill somebody. So it'd be interesting. Jeremy did make a comment on Twitter that they got the Beast, and the next one they make of her, they're going to make her more glamorous. And we'll see what that equals out to be. But a big female figure, I think first time in the line as well. That's going to make a lot of people happy out there. And one I like a lot is Archer. We got Lance Archer out there. Very cool looking figure as well. Big wrestler, tattooed, very colorful. Sign me up all day long. First time in the line as well. Would have loved to seen Tully Blanchard and Jake the Snake Roberts as in their manager stuff, maybe in this line somewhere. Would have been pretty cool. You got to think those are coming. I really want that manager, Tully Blanchard. I'd personally love to have the Tully Blanchard from that night he wrestled, and kind of that outfit he wrestled in. That would be awesome for an old school fan like me, especially a fan of the Horsemen and Tully Blanchard. But that's Unrivaled Series 7, a pretty strong one. The Young Bucks are probably going to be the least popular of that set, I'd have to think. But Dax and Cash and Archer and Nyla Rose, very solid first time in the line stuff right there. Then we turn the attention to an announcement of Unrivaled Series 8. We didn't get to see any pictures of these guys. It was just kind of the announcement header stuff. I would think we're about a month, maybe 2 months away from some digital renderings on those, I would imagine. Maybe sooner than that, but we'll see. But we're getting another Jon Moxley. We're getting another Chris Jericho. Just like the Young Bucks in Series 7, I can see people saying, oh, not more, not more. But we are getting some new stuff in here. We're getting the Best Friends. We're getting Trent, Chuck Taylor, or another Orange Cassidy, which I think is okay to a lot of people. And then we're getting Chris Statlander. I think that is really cool. I'm very excited about the Chris Statlander figure, easy for me to say. Female figure, but you know there's got to be some face paint involved. Sign me up all day long. There's not enough women wearing face paint these days. Thunder Rosa, I can't wait for that figure one of these days. But Unrivaled Series 8 looks very strong. Jericho, Moxley, Chris Statlander, Trent, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy. So that's it for the Unrivaled. Now we turn our attention to the brand new line, the brand new addition to the Jazzwares family. We're talking AEW Unmatched. All right, next up, we're talking the brand new line, AEW Unmatched. Now, a lot of people are confused out there. Originally, when they announced Unmatched, I had this question too, and it was answered pretty quickly, but I think a lot of people missed the explanation of what is the difference between Unmatched and Unrivaled. I'm going to put it simple for you. Go back to the Jax days. There was Ruthless Aggression and there was Ring Rage. Exact same figure style, exact same everything, just came in between. You get a set of Ruthless Aggression, then Ring Rage. Ruthless Aggression, Ring Rage. And it was basically every month you'd have fresh figures out on the shelf. And it looks like that's where they are headed with Unmatched and Unrivaled. It's technically two different lines. It's a little smoke and mirrors out there because to the buyers of the big Targets, Amazons, Walmarts of the world, here's Unmatched, here's Unrivaled. Oh, those are two totally different lines. Smoke and mirrors, not knowing, hey, these lines counteract and they go together with each other. They interact, I should say, with each other. But it's new to a buyer. It's, hey, we got all this extra product. We got extra lines. It's tough to convince retailers, as we've talked about a lot on the channel. Peg space is very important out there and hard to get. I don't care if we're talking food, toys, hammers, groceries. Shelf space is at a premium, but this is a way between a little smoke and mirrors, a little fancy old school swindling almost, to get two lines out there at the same time. But a lot of people thinking, hey, it's a basic line. This is, nope, they're all on the same scale, all same type of figures, just a way to get figures on the shelf consistently. You get a Series 6 in and it sells out quick, well then Unmatched right on its heels. So you're always going to have some product on the shelf. That's the key, that's the thought process with that. We'll see how it goes later on this year when that comes. So hopefully that answers some questions there. But it's just something right out of the Jax playbook back in the day. So be prepared for that. But Unmatched Series 1, we got to see the digital kind of renderings once again for these. And finally, we're getting the Britt Baker figure. I haven't seen a wrestler have a more vocal fan base screaming for a figure in a long time. Now, this is part of the thing where I think with social media, people kind of jump on bandwagons, and it's very easy to send a tweet, because guess what? It's free to send a tweet. Anybody can do it. But consumers, they vote with their wallet. And once again, just like I said a couple seconds ago, we could be talking groceries, we could be talking toys, we could be talking hammers, whatever. I always go back to the analogy out there. You do studies with millions of people, or thousands of people, whatever it is. You do studies, and you say, hey, do you want to feed your kid the best bread out there? Do you want to give them the organic with the great ingredients, everything else, or you want to give them the plain Jane bread? 99% of people, they say, oh, you know what? I want that organic. I would give it to my kid. Yeah, they say that because it's just like a tweet. It's free. But guess what? Consumers vote with their wallets. And 99% of the people, they buy the mainstream, regular, plain Jane, cheap bread. They don't spend the $6, $7 for the fancy organic stuff. It's a very niche product. And that's what I wonder a lot with female figures. We get people, almost internet tough guys, we'll call them. Not even that, but we get people online that say, we need Britt Baker, we need Britt Baker. Well, will you pay with your money when Britt Baker comes out and you see her on the shelf? I hope you do. I have nothing against Britt Baker. I'm buying this for sure. It's a figure that is needed. It is deserved. But will it go the way of Rio? Will it go the way of Brie and Nikki Bella? I mean, we can go on and on and on about female figures that pegworm out there. There's a vocal majority on the internet that screams for these things, but the general public, at least in the 8 states I travel, the women wrestlers don't sell as well. That's just hard facts. That's just data. That's sales. But we'll see how Britt Baker does. First time in the line, top female performer really in AEW. Got a lot of buzz around her. I hope this flies off the shelf because that will help with other female figures. You guys know how it all snowballs from there. But Britt Baker, she's finally getting her shot. I'm sure she's very happy. And a lot of people online are happy about that. So Britt Baker coming in Unmatched Series 1. Then a return to the line, Darby Allin. Not sure about this one. They showed pictures of 2 different skateboards. Does that mean there's going to be a chase and a variant with that? If it's only a skateboard difference, I don't know if I'm going to get too caught up in that. I don't know if we've ever had really a chase accessory that counts as part of something. I don't know. I might be good with one of these, but if there is paint differences between the two, which it doesn't look like on the pictures. I didn't see 2 different pictures there. So it looks like Darby Allin might have a chase with different skateboards, or he's coming with 2 skateboards. I wouldn't think that's the case, but more to come on that Darby Allin. Then we got Kenny Omega, another return to the line. You guys know how it goes. I was very, very hyped for Series 4 Kenny Omega. I thought that was a great figure. And then Series 1 version 2 with the updated colors, that transformed that figure to my favorite in the line from the least favorite. So I'm excited. I'm hoping they got Kenny finally, all the bugs totally worked out, and we'll get a very solid Kenny Omega that'll take a little step up from Series 4. So very excited about that Kenny Omega, but I can see some people saying the Young Bucks analogy, the Cody, oh, we're sick of Kenny Omega, we don't need any more of those. We'll see what happens. We also saw Miro. There was internet leaks, of course, over the last week on Miro, but we did get the digital renderings on him. On the back, you can see his big tattoo. You can see his shoulder tattoo. Missing chest hair still. That was a big gripe people had. Maybe that'll be added extra. But as of right now, it looks like Miro's not going to have his chest hair. But another good one. First time in the line for AEW. Of course, we got Rusev figures with Mattel back in the day. But I think a lot of people will be excited for this. And one I'm excited for, you guys know I love face paint. And also Dustin Rhodes. Goes old time. I've followed his whole career, literally from the get-go. I've been watching Dustin Rhodes wrestle through all incarnations and everything else. Very cool. I always love, I'm a sucker for blue. Goes back to the Legion of Doom. Most people love that red Legion of Doom spikes from this early WWF run. I've always had a soft spot for that blue Legion of Doom gear. And this is kind of what it reminds me of Dustin Rhodes' blue Legion of Doom gear. And he seems to wear this pretty regularly now. I'm guessing this is pretty much just a straight repaint. We did get a new head sculpt here. So that is one thing to note here. Technically, another 2-in-1 figure. That kind of stuff drives me nuts. It's like, I feel like I need to buy 2, but I don't know. Gonna hold off on 1 for now. We'll see where it goes, and I'll probably choose which head I like best. But Dustin, returning to the line. I don't know when we'll get another Dustin. Between the gear he had in his first figure with the red and blackish color and now the blue one, those pretty much seem to be his 2 looks. So we'll see where it goes from there. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't get a plain Jane Dustin Rhodes figures down the line, and we might talk about that a little bit later. And then the kind of surprise, I guess we'd say, of Unmatched Series 1. We know it had been rumored. Jeremy Padower from Jazzwares had talked about wanting to do this in the past. Little mixed emotions for me here, and we're talking about the Cody Rhodes, Cody LJN inspired figure. LJN is back. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. Does the modern consumer want LJNs? People like me, I grew up. Those were my first wrestling figures, LJN figures. I got a soft spot for them. We remember Jack's Classic Superstars tried to bring the LJNs back in the Classic Superstars with 1 a set. To really mixed results. I was very vocal, not a fan at the time. I have went back and got a loose set to go with my on-card set of those. I just don't know. I don't know if the modern wrestling collector wants an LJN. We all have a fondness for them and maybe an appreciation for the LJNs back in the day, but I don't think these will go very well. I think it'll be very similar to the classic superstars. They didn't go so hot then. There's a lot of love for wrestling figures of all types and all eras right now. It seems like Hasbro is more loved on than LJNs at this point. I think that's just based on age brackets out there. So I don't know if LJN is the right choice or if that's a bit of a misstep, because I can see a lot of people groaning, saying, I never had these, I don't like these. And then the other problem we have here is Jakks Class Superstars, they were LJN inspired. They did not scale at all to the LJNs, and I have to think this is going to be the same case with these. They're not going to scale with the LJNs. When I first saw them, I said, oh, these look like a WCW Galoob figure, which are much smaller. I got to think it'll be bigger than that. Maybe they will possibly scale with the WCW OSFTM figures, original San Francisco Toymaker. Maybe that would work a little bit better. I guess we'll see where this goes, but I can see a lot of people passing on these. I just have a feeling we might just have people saying, you know what, I'm all out, I'm not starting those, they don't do anything for me. There's no articulation with these, they're basically rubber statues. We'll see how they feel and look in person. I've also seen rumors out there, I've been hearing it for a while, I don't know if it's the case or not, there may be a Chase edition. As you can see in the picture, Cody's in kind of a tealish blue. I've heard there might be a red, so we'll see. I don't know, that could be just a rumor, but that might happen. So that's Unmatched Series 1, coming very soon. I got to think coming maybe end of summer, maybe early summer. We'll see what happens. But exciting times to get another additional line. From there, we did get to see renderings of Unmatched Series 2 as well, which I thought was a bit of a surprise. I was happy to see that. It'd be a very interesting line as well. So let's run down Unmatched Series 2. We got another MJF figure. I can see people groaning a little bit. Oh, another MJF. But this one to me looks very solid. He has a robe. Will it be soft goods robe? I have a feeling maybe not. It looks like it would almost be the hard plastic robe. No different than maybe a Miz for the WWE Elite line. But we'll see. This MJF looks very solid. Talk about a gaudy robe, but it goes with the heel personality and everything else. So we'll see how that MJF does. But then we're getting his bodyguard Wardlow as well, and I like the looks of this. You guys know I love big dudes like this. He's a big, jacked up dude. I'm very excited to get this figure. I could see this body mold being used for Will Hobbs maybe, Brian Cage. I could see them getting some use out of these, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But we're getting some of the Pinnacle members, I guess, as we got FTR and the other sets as well. So you can see that coming. So I thought that was pretty cool with Wardlow. Then we're getting Tay Conti, a deep cut, you know, in a middle-of-the-road NXT performer that has had a resurgence in AEW, I guess we'll call it at this point. Tay Conti looks very good. 2 heads, very strong head and face and whole body on this one. I like the looks of this. We'll see what it looks like in person to give a final judgment. First thing I noticed too is the back, checking out her butt. You know, I was checking out Tay Conti's digital renderings butt, but it's, you know, the shorts are hiked up a little bit. I don't know if we've ever had shorts quite like this on a female wrestling figure before. We know they wear that out in the ring and stuff in both WWE and AEW, but I don't think it's ever put on figure form like this. So this is the first time in the line in ways with this Tay Conti. I'm okay with this figure. I like getting this figure. I would have rather had Thunder Rosa. You guys know I'm a sucker for face paint, but I'm sure she's got to be coming very soon. But Tay Conti, first time in the line. Then once again, we're getting a return tag team. Santana and Ortiz back in the line as well. Santana, they're both in their orange-inspired gear, I guess we'd say. I can't remember what event this is from, but I do remember seeing this gear in the past. The Ortiz, once again, seems to be the winner for me. He's got just the craziest facial expressions. I love the looks of this figure, so once again, I'm buying all these, but I'm very excited about this Ortiz figure. I think it looks really cool. So another strong tag team lineup, and it seems they're putting at least one tag team in a lot of these lineups. I do love that. I'm a tag team wrestling fan. I like to get tag teams, and I like to get tag teams in the same set, and that looks like what they're doing there. And then the big one on Unmatched Series 2. I'm actually a little surprised. Unmatched kind of feels like the Ring Rage to Unrivaled's Ruthless Aggression, if you guys know what I'm talking about there. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. I'm surprised to see Sting go into the Unmatched series. And it shows Sting as a Luminary. Now, I don't think they defined what Luminary is. I almost wonder, here I am, this is me spitballing off the top of my head here, is Luminary going to be like a classic Superstars type character in every set? And that's where I talked about Dustin Rhodes. Could we get just an old school Dustin Rhodes, no face paint, you know, back when he was more of a cowboy teaming with his dad? that could be another Luminary type figure in the future. But I don't know. Luminary, I just don't know if that means just like a legend. I don't know what that means. We go back to the Jax line. You know, Jeremy and the AEW team were a part of that Jax line. And remember, they had the Jax Deluxe Impact figures, but they also had a legend in each set. You had Raven in one set. I think Kurt Angle was in another. They tried to do a standalone release that didn't go so hot off the tails of the Classic Superstars line. And they started releasing one legend per set. Is that what they're doing here? I'm not sure what Luminary means. When you look at this Sting figure, it doesn't look like new Sting. It looks like modern day Sting. Did I say new Sting? It looks like modern day Sting. It doesn't look like classic Sting or Crow Sting or whatever you want to call it. So I think it's a brand new figure. I don't know if it's just a way of them deeming somebody like a Hall of Famer. Will we get a Jake the Snake Luminary? Will we get Tully Blanchard Luminary? Taz Luminary? Tony Schiavone? Maybe that's the name for some of the classic guys that aren't new to just AEW but have been around wrestling for a long time. That could be the case. You guys in the comments, let me know if maybe we've got answers after I film this or during filming this. But I'm interested to see what that Luminary really means out there. And then we transition, Unmatched Series 3. I didn't think they'd go this far. We didn't get any pictures here. We just got an announced lineup for Unmatched Series 3. And I thought this was a really, really cool thing to do in this wave. I only have one gripe. We'll talk about it in a second. But it's basically the Dark Order. We all know Brody Lee. He died, unfortunately, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, whatever it's been now. Obviously hit everybody by storm. Just crazy how fast those things come through. We all know that. But Brody Lee died. We're getting a Brody Lee tribute figure here. I think it's really cool they're doing this. And then even cooler is it's a tribute. Basically, this whole set is members of the Dark Order. So we're getting Stu Grayson in here along with Brody Lee. We're going to get Anna Jay, the female member of the Dark Order. We'll get Evil Uno. A lot of people have been wanting that, including myself. I love masked characters. Give me Evil Uno. And he's a big guy, too, so he checks a couple of boxes. We'll get John Silver, which could be the smallest figure we've gotten in the AEW line. It'll be interesting to see how they size John Silver. And then the one that scratches my head a little bit on this one is the LJN-inspired Darby Allin as part of this set. I don't know. Are you going to have an LJN figure in every single set? Is that going to be the answer to the Rare and Chase? I don't know that, but LJN Darby doesn't make a lot of sense to me in this line. I think you do. If I was writing the checks and making the decisions, I would have put an LJN Brody Lee. Do two Brody Lees in there. There's a bigger tribute to get two figures in the same set. Darby Allin doesn't fit in with this Dark Order set. Or you pass the LJN off, take a break for one set, and you put Colt Cabana in there. I think that would have been okay. I would have liked to seen something different. LJN Darby, just what doesn't belong? You look at this, what doesn't belong here? And that's the one. Maybe they'll change that still. I'd like to see them change that still, but a really great tribute, that Unmatched Series 3. So that's Unmatched and Unrivaled. A lot to look forward to. I've been talking about it for weeks and months on Weekly Purchases, our weekly sit-down get-together. You men on card completists for the AEW set, you guys are in for trouble. I tell you what, that's why I had to tap out, and I'm one of the last people that will tap out. I'm going to keep a loose set going, but between two lines, all the exclusives, we got ringside exclusives, all these other exclusives out there, it's going to be tough to be a completist. And even if you can be a completist, do you have room? Do you have room to display it all? Do you really want to buy a ton of figures just to throw in a tub or a tote? That's never been for me. I've always had the rules. If I can't display it, I'm not going to buy it. Now, if you really want to go mid on card, that means something's got to go once you're out of room. That's how I do it. Everybody has their own rules. I get it. But it's going to be hard and expensive if you're a mid on card completist out there for AEW. I would say, hey, go for it. I want to see somebody pull that mantle off. There's going to be somebody out there that's going to do it. And there's going to be somebody even better that's going to double up the whole way. I can't wait to see it. I get a lot of good compliments about my Classic Superstars room. I built my house around that room. I love it a lot, and I can't wait to see somebody, the next generation, do that with the AEW figures. I think it'll be really cool. But we're not done with the announcements here. There was more announcements. Speak of an exclusive, we talked about Ringside getting exclusive, but Amazon's jumping in the game too. We're getting a Chris Jericho Amazon exclusive. That is huge. A lot of people shrug that off, another exclusive. But to be able to get into Amazon and then get exclusives into Amazon is a big win. Amazon is massive. Them and Walmart, there's your top two companies in the United States, possibly the world, as far as retail you need to get into. My retail business, if you don't succeed at Walmart, you don't get into the pegs at Walmart as a national customer, you're in trouble. Your item's in trouble. And the old joke from every company I've ever worked for, if it's been deleted from Walmart, you can kiss it goodbye. If it got off the mods and they don't want it anymore, all your regional grocers, all your regional stores, they're going to go that same way. So getting in Walmart and Amazon is a big, big deal. It's a huge deal for the AEW brand. The Jericho exclusive looks pretty cool, but it looks like any other Jericho except he's got a pink soft goods coat. So it almost looks like you can go to the Threadheads of the world and get that same coat made. But we'll see what it looks like. I gotta think there's gonna be amazing packaging there. We'll see it goes where it goes from there. And then another exclusive we're getting. Little mixed emotions on this one for me. We're getting Aubrey Edwards, a referee figure. That is awesome. Give us female referees. Give us referees. I think this is really cool. But they're including her with a real scale ring. A lot of us bought that Kenny Omega real scale ring. Do we need another ring? This is a double or nothing themed ring. But boy, that's a lot. I mean, these are big rings. Once again, where are you going to put these? I'm going to have to get it. I might just sell the ring. I might just buy the figure. I got to figure out what I'm going to do there because I don't need a ton of rings. I got a Raw ring. I got a SmackDown ring. I got an old Wicked Cool's ring, I think, with NXT logos on it. I got a couple of the small rings. I got the small AEW ring. I got the real scale ring with Kenny Omega. Do I need another one? Where am I going to put these rings? How many matches am I going to have? Am I going to have like 10 rings going around here? But it's really cool, but that's your best bet. That's your only bet right now, getting an Aubrey Edwards figure. So we got an Amazon exclusive and a ringside exclusive announced. I wonder about GameStop. You know, GameStop going to start selling wrestling figures from AEW. Where will that go? We see it with Hasbro all the time. They get GameStop and fan channel exclusives. Will we possibly get an AEW GameStop exclusive? That's one of the bets, I think, for 2022 to me. I think we'll see something, especially for a GameStop. You got to get in good with all these retailers out there. And Jazzwares is smart. They'll figure it out. So there you go. And then finally, we're right at the end. There was a lot to talk about today. This one was cool for the kids out there. Does absolutely nothing for me. And then we're talking Wrestling Buddies. It's funny, I always talk about Wrestling Buddies. When I was a kid, I remember seeing them, and I saw the Ultimate Warrior, I saw the LOD, I said, oh, those are pretty cool, but you know what? I'm not going to be caught dead with a stuffed animal. I'm 8, 9 years old. I'm not getting a stuffed animal. What are you kidding me? And I wonder if kids these days are in that same mentality or not. I don't know. In hindsight, many years later, I did go back and pick up those Wrestling Buddies. I'm still just missing one. I've been playing that long game, and the long game went south on Jake the Snake Roberts. It was like $200 forever, or it was actually like $100. And I said, I'm going to wait. It'll go down. Now it's like $300. Of course it is. So one day I'll complete that Jake the Snake, but I'm not picking up the AEW Wrestling Buddies. They look awfully small. They look smaller than the traditional Wrestling Buddies. But we did see Cody Rhodes, of course. You knew he'd be in there. Then we saw Darby Allin, face paint, half face paint. Kids love that. We saw Luchasaurus, you know, kids all in Luchasaurus. If I was going to get one, that would be the one I would get. And then, of course, Kenny Omega. So you got 4. We'll see where that line goes from there. It'll be very interesting to see if they continue that. But, you know, you got to branch out. We talk about it a lot. G.I. Joe Classified Series, for example. Classified Series, it seems to be 30 to 50-year-olds buying the Classified Series. But guess what? G.I. Joe has a new 4 Kids line coming out, trying to capture that next generation of fans. And that's how you do it with a Wrestling Buddy. If you get a little kid, 3, 4 years old, you give them these, they play with them, they watch them on TV, they get the interest, they do the moves, they play with those. Guess what? When they're 7, 8 years old, maybe 6, they transition into the Unrivaled and Unmatched, and bam, you got the next Kyle Peterson on your hands. Hopefully that's the case. We'll see if that does happen or not. But a lot of announcements today. That wraps up the announcements. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. What are your thoughts? Any of you guys going to stay completists? Are you bailing out? Are you going to start picking and choosing? I'd love to hear your guys' strategy. I'm hanging tight. I've got Series 6 on order from Ringside Collectibles with discount code Kyle so I could save 10%. And I got to save 10% somehow. So I got those coming, but I only got one set this time. If I do change my mind, I might play the long game. I'll wait till it hits retail. Maybe I'll buy some at the retail price point. I don't know, but I'm looking. I'm like, where do you find the room for all these mid-on cards? As much as I'd like to keep them, they're going to go just too many. There's going to be too many sets. So that's my plan. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Are you picking? What did you like? What was the best? What was your favorite thing you saw? A lot of good stuff, actually. I mean, digital renderings are tough. I always say you got to get back to the table. That's when we'll know for sure. But I really like the idea of Lance Archer. Even the Nyla Rose with the crazy face going on, big figure. I like the looks of that. I'm interested on the LJNs for sure. It'll be interesting how those do and where those go. A lot of interesting stuff, and you got to take chances every once in a while in business. And Jeremy is no problem taking chances out there, branching off of some new things, trying some new things, throwing darts, see what sticks. That's how you get ahead, and that's how you get the next big thing going in the wrestling figure genre. So we'll see where it goes. I know there's a lot of people excited about stuff, and like I said, you guys tell me in the comments your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully everybody's got some time off and they're enjoying the Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully everybody enjoys the start of the summertime. I'm going to try to. I actually have the rest of the day off today, and I think I'm going to have Sunday and Monday off. Fingers crossed that happens. But yeah, so everybody enjoy the start of summer. We'll be back with many, many more videos, as you guys know. But for the whole AEW Reveals, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.